I'm glad you could make it tonight. Thank you for joining me. Tonight is our next step, healing in the sanctuary. I'm very excited about that. And I'm going to do a technique. I'm going to just tell you what I'm doing for the healing tonight so that you can do it for yourself at home. That's right. All of these techniques are easy enough that you can do at home. And how we're going to do the next step healing tonight is I'm going to use the metaphor of a doorway and use that image to read the energy of what is between you and taking your next step for 2021. So we'll look at the energy around the door frame and the threshold, and then we'll check to see if there's any energy in front of it, behind it. We'll open it and then clear any energy on the other side of the doorway. So this is going to be a great way to clear your next step. And I'm going to go ahead and say a prayer to get started. As we cleanse and heal the temple of the soul, may it be with the blessing of divinity, that it shine its countenance upon us and bring us peace in body, mind, and spirit. Amen. All right. Now, for those of you that are joining me and are guests tonight, how the healing works is I work off a composite and I will describe the healing to you as if I'm talking to you one-on-one. The composite is comprised of matching pictures of everybody in the sanctuary tonight and those members that can't be here tonight. So that's how I do the healing, so that pretty much everything you'll hear me talk about will most likely be energy that is in your space. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start with the doorway. And I will describe the doorway. It's a wooden door, and it's like a big, it's kind of heavy. It's made out of real wood, not pressboard. And it's very tall. And it's a natural stain. And I just wanted to describe it to you so you could get an idea of what it is I'm looking at. And it is partially open, kind of like a crack open. It's not all the way open, but it is partially open. And I'm going to take a look at any energy standing in front of the doorway that might need to be cleared. There's kind of a hazy purple energy down on the floor before the threshold of the door. And that's actually a really low level energy. It's almost dark purple. That looks like energy everybody wants to leave behind in 2020. Oh, that's good. There's depression in that energy, and that's releasing. There's also a lot of yellow in front of the doorway before we even get to the door. This is the energy that you look at and feel like that it's going to be too much of a challenge. So there's a lot of energy in this yellow about how it's going to be really challenging to move forward. And that seems to be releasing pretty easily. There are like, I have to laugh because there are like a number of little beings or entities around the upper part of the doorway, and they're like mocking you, kind of like teasing you, like I guess like mocking you as you try to take your next step. So it's the energy, I would call it the energy of competition from other beings without bodies. They're little beings, but there are a lot of them around the doorway. Clearing them right now. Yeah, a lot of this initial energy before we even get to the door has to do with judgment and competition. So it's great that this is getting cleaned out. There's a blanket of numbness coming out, and that is still some of the energy of 2020. And at the door, now it's cleared so that I can see right up to the door. There are all kinds of energies like hesitation, worry, some fear. Going to put a grounding cord on that, ground that. It's great because I can see on the other side of the door already, although the door isn't all the way open, and there's so much joy and optimism and beauty and excitement on the other side of the door. One of the energies that prevents the door from opening is the energy of not sharing. And I'm not saying you're not sharing, but that energy of not sharing and coveting is in that doorway, and that's being cleared. The other thing that's starting to happen, which is pretty cool, is as the energy of the doorway is rising and getting up to gold or trying to get to gold, so is your crown chakra. And there's a lot of red coming out of your crown chakra right now. And that red just represents frustration and immobility, the frustration from immobility. The door is starting to open now. There's some gray coming out of the doorway itself, kind of cloudy gray. Some of this is the energy of I'm think it's like a programmed energy of always needing to have something bigger, better, more. Now, the doorway is clearing, and I'm going to work on the threshold. There's a little bit of energy on the other side of the doorway that I'm going to work on once we clear off the threshold. So the threshold is actually the base of the doorway, and then you have the door frame around it. And we might be able to find some other energies there. It's really interesting. The door frame, when I first started, was kind of teetering and not really straight, and it had to do with the lack of routine from last year, and sort of like the breakdown of structure. You know, what's interesting is like on the other side of the doorway, I see spiritual groups forming, and the groups like offer different life experience or different adventures that you can take to work certain pictures. It's just interesting to see groups of spirits on the other side of the doorway waiting to offer you things. So the threshold of the doorway is kind of heavy and brown, and the threshold reflects a lot of the low-level energies. And I'm going to take a few moments to clean out these heavier energies at the threshold. The energies here have to do with your receiving quadrant of your creative process, and how you receive, and the energy that gets in there to invalidate you from and your history of invalidation for things that you've tried to create. That's all coming out. That's the good news. There's a lot of gold coming into the doorway now. And I can see lots of space and bright yellow gold, lots of light on the other side. Now what I'm going to do is take you, move you right up to the threshold of the doorway, read any energy that gets lit up as you move to this doorway to 2021, help you clear that, and then look at you on the other side of the doorway to give you that next step healing once you move through the doorway. So one thing that's kind of interesting that happens as I move you towards the doorway is a lot of energy lights up on your backside. And this is energy, these are the energies that during the year, during the months, the weeks, the days, things that we don't want to deal with. And we're not ready to let go of that energy, but we want to keep them in our aura so we don't forget. So we kind of put it behind us. So there's a lot of crackly, dark brown, almost black energy that lights up on your backside as you move towards that door. And your third chakra in your solar plexus gets a little lit up when you look at the future and new creations. Going to do a third chakra healing on you because when it gets lit up, what I see is like a white ring of energy that prevents it from spinning properly. Oh, that white energy has to do with hope. Now, most of you know what I think about hope. I think hope is a future time energy. And when you sit in the vibration of hope, you're really sitting in future time. And you can't create in future time. You have to have your energy in present time in order to create and receive. So those are my 2 bits about hope. So I don't really think of hope as a very helpful energy. It's not creative. It doesn't do anything but push you out into future time. And that's actually coming out of you right now. Clearing that out of the third chakra also helped the lungs relax. I just saw a big breath like, it's a nice release there. Oh, this is good. As you move through the doorway, what happens is all of your mock-ups that haven't come in, or they've come in and they've been like broken mock-ups, or they haven't been fully formed. So things that didn't come back to you that you tried to mock up, or things that did come back to you that were kind of not at all what you originally mocked up, those all get lit up right as you walk through the door frame. And that helps me to help you clear all of those old mock-ups. So that's what I'm doing right now, is moving old mock-ups out of your space. And there are a lot of mock-ups that had to be let go of because of the pandemic and the lack of travel. That was a good healing. That really cleared your space. So now I'm going to have you walk on the other side and take a look at what lights up for you when you're on the other side of your doorway. There was an initial tightening, almost like, okay, I got to get to work. When you crossed over the threshold, like, okay, now I have to do something. So I'm grounding that resistance. And this is giving me another opportunity to clear some fear energy that's lighting up in the front part of you as you walk through the doorway. Now, this is what I like to see, is your whole being coming up to certainty blue. This is also a place where you start experiencing other people's judgments of your creations. And so I'm clearing that judgment that gets directed at you for your creations. Yeah, each one of you has almost like a template of pain from either rejection of your creations or judgments, opinions, other people's opinions. And I'm working on that right now. It looks like dried dark brown sticks, kind of like a little bit like your skeletal system, but not as full. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is get your creative energy flowing. Just clearing some problem energy in the creative energy, where the creative energy gets generated. It wasn't moving all that well. Okay, that's what I want to see. Bright, deep colors coming in for your creative energy. And going to keep running certainty in your crown chakra. That seems to be a really good vibration for you. And I'm using like a really nice medium sky blue. And there's one last thing I'm doing on the other side of the door, and that is clearing past failures that get lit up as you cross over to do a new creative cycle. And I'm going to clear your past failures and again say hello to your successes. It's a little hard for you to release the energy of failure. It's coming off, but it's coming off slowly. Maybe failure is, it has a lot of charge on the word failure. And like I was saying earlier, failure is kind of like where your mock-ups didn't come back to you successfully. It's a shortcoming. That's what I like to use instead of failure. It's a shortcoming. Boy, that looks pretty good. Pretty darn good. I think when you go to create some new mock-ups and go to take your step out in the world and start new creative cycles, I think you're going to feel like it's a lot easier because the space is cleared. There's lots of room. There's lots of bright yellow gold light. It's a very light-filled space. And you're clean as a whistle. So you did a good job. I'm going to fill you in with a big gold sun. You can also bring in a gold sun yourself. All right. I'm going to go ahead and close out. May it be with the blessing of divinity that this healing tonight, or I should say this next step healing for everyone tonight, be complete. Amen. You can open your eyes and come on out of trance. I just have a couple of announcements. If you'll just stick around for a minute, please. I wanted to tell you the few events that I already know are going to be happening in February, coming up on Thursday, February 4th. It's a women's intuition class, and the topic is releasing responsibility. And the difference between the classes that I teach and the ones that I offer for free are the classes we get to go a little deeper and work a number of different techniques and methods rather than just have the half hour. So it's a great way for you to really get to the bottom of a topic. So I picked responsibility because I thought, everybody has some responsibility, I'm sure, that they would like to get out of. So that is February 4th. It starts at 7 p.m. The classes are $50, but it leads me to want to explain the sanctuary to you, because if you enjoyed your healing tonight, my soul support sanctuary has a minimum of 2 healings a month, and you get a discount on the classes. So the discount is $30. So for the $27, which is the cost of the membership, and the $30 for the class is almost the same price as a class. You're getting 2 healings and a class. And then I also throw in other things during the month too, question answer times where you can come and ask me questions and I'll give you a healing answer. So there are different things that I do in the sanctuary, and I'm trying to build that space. So I wanted to tell you about it in case you're interested. You can text me or call me at 702-245-2099, or you can email me and be happy to tell you about it. If you are joining as a single member, it is $27 a month. Couples are $49 a month. And families, you can have as many kids as you want. It's $67 for the month. And everybody that is in the sanctuary gets the healing. Whether you can attend the healing or not, you are in the healing because you are part of the sanctuary. And I always videotape them so that you can watch what the healing was on the next day or two. Sometimes it takes me a couple days to get them out, but that way you can see what you got the healing on. So that's what's coming up. My next month's special, I decided, is on love. So I cannot wait for that. We're going to explore the vibration of love, clean it out, run it through your space to give you a healing, and then you can pick a couple of spaces that we're going to use that love vibration to clean out. And I'll tell you, love is such a powerful healing agent. So I cannot wait for that. I'm very excited. And that's the news that I have for you. Thank you for sticking around tonight. I love having you. It's so much fun to have a big group. And I would love to hear if there are other topics that you would like healings on. I'm always open to it. You can text me or email me. Thank you again for coming tonight. It's really good to have you. Got my eyes on you. Have a wonderful evening, and I will see you in Women's Intuition on the 4th. Bye-bye.